Every day, someone is quietly steering your decisions, and you probably thank them for it. Stay until the end, because some of these manipulation tricks are so normal, you'll realize they've been controlling your life for years without you even noticing. Number 1. The grocery store is literally designed to control your brain. You think you're entering a grocery store to buy milk, eggs, and bread. But the store is built like a psychological trap. Essentials are often placed far apart or near the back, forcing you to walk past thousands of tempting products you never planned to buy. Slow music makes shoppers move slower and stay longer, which often leads to bigger spending. Fresh bakery smells create comfort and hunger, making food feel more emotionally appealing. Even shopping carts got larger over time, so a half-empty cart can make people feel like they haven't bought enough. You didn't accidentally overspend. The building quietly guided you there. 2. Social media learned your weaknesses. Faster than your friends. Social media is powerful because it studies what keeps your brain hooked. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube use unpredictable rewards. One swipe is boring, the next is funny, shocking, or emotional. That randomness keeps you scrolling, just like a slot machine keeps people playing. Algorithms learn what makes you pause: fears, insecurities, desires, opinions, and late-night searches. One search about anxiety, dieting, or breakups can suddenly reshape your entire feed. Notifications also manipulate you, especially red bubbles that trigger urgency. These platforms don't mainly care if you feel happy. They care if you stay, because your attention is what advertisers are buying. 3. Hotels use tiny psychological tricks to make you feel richer than you are. Hotels manipulate tired people beautifully. The lobby lighting, calm music, and signature scents are designed to make you relax and feel like you've entered a better version of life. Mirrors and warm lighting can make guests feel more attractive, which helps them spend more confidently. The minibar works because exhaustion weakens self-control. Suddenly, overpriced water and tiny snacks seem acceptable. Checkout pressure can push people toward extra fees, breakfast, or another night. And the white robe is pure psychological magic. Once someone puts it on, they start acting like temporary royalty. Hotels don't just sell rooms, they sell escape from real life. 4. Restaurants secretly control how fast you eat, and how much you spend. Restaurants carefully shape how you behave. Fast food places use bright colors like red, yellow, and orange because they create energy, urgency, and impulsive choices. Expensive restaurants do the opposite. Dim lights, soft chairs, slower music, and relaxed service encourage you to stay longer and spend more. Menus also play games. Many remove dollar signs because seeing money symbols reminds your brain that you're paying. A very expensive decoy dish can make another pricey meal look reasonable by comparison. Even waiter language is softened so customers don't feel rushed or judged. You think you're simply choosing dinner, but the restaurant has already guided your decisions. 5. Casinos. No human psychology better than most therapists. Casinos are designed to erase time, logic, and self-control. They usually have few clocks and windows, so your brain stops tracking reality. Slot machines use flashing lights and celebratory sounds to make even small wins feel huge. Sometimes you win a little after losing more overall, but the machine still makes it feel like success. Free drinks are not generosity. They lower judgment and make risky decisions easier. Casino layouts are often confusing, with winding paths and no obvious exits, keeping people inside longer. Near misses are another trick. Almost winning can excite the brain nearly like real winning. Casinos don't sell luck, they sell hope. 6. Advertising figured out. Long ago that fear sells better than logic. Advertising often sells fear first and the product second. Deodorant ads don't just say, "This smells nice." They suggest that bad body odor could ruin your job, friendships, or romantic life. Mouthwash ads make you worry about your breath. Beauty ads turn normal skin texture, aging, or hair problems into emergencies. The trick is simple. Create insecurity, then offer a solution. One famous example is the diamond industry. Before the 1930s, diamond engagement rings were not a universal tradition. De Beers connected diamonds with eternal love through the slogan, "A diamond is forever." That campaign helped turn an expensive stone into a social expectation. 7. The limited time offer. Trick works. Because humans panic like squirrels. Nothing makes people panic faster than thinking something might disappear. That's why businesses use phrases like "only two left," "sale ends tonight," or "limited edition." This triggers scarcity fear. Psychologists call it loss aversion. People often fear losing an opportunity more than they enjoy gaining something. Online shopping sites use this constantly with countdown timers and messages like 14 people are viewing this hotel. Sometimes the scarcity is real, but sometimes it is partly manufactured to create urgency. Brands like Supreme and seasonal products like the McRib use limited availability to make ordinary things feel special. When something feels rare, the brain assumes it must be valuable. 8. Politicians often manipulate emotion. First, facts later. Politics often works through emotion before logic. Many people don't choose political positions only by studying facts. They respond to identity, fear, hope, anger, belonging, and trust, then look for facts that support the feeling. That's why political slogans are usually short, emotional, and repeated again and again. Repetition makes ideas feel familiar, and familiar ideas can start to feel true. News cycles and social media make this stronger because anger and fear spread faster than calm analysis. Algorithms reward emotional reactions, so extreme posts often get more attention. Once politics becomes part of someone's identity, changing an opinion can feel like betraying a tribe. 9. Gyms quietly manipulate you. The second you walk through the door, gyms sell fitness, but they also sell guilt and future identity. Every January, gyms market heavily because people feel motivated, regretful, and vulnerable after the holidays. Many memberships are built around optimism, not real attendance. People keep paying even when they barely go because canceling feels like admitting failure. Inside the gym, mirrors, bright lights, fit bodies, and intense music make people more aware of how they look. That can push them towards supplements, classes, smoothies, personal training, or expensive workout clothes. Even slogans like "no excuses" can create shame around rest or exhaustion. Gyms know people spend money chasing the version of themselves they wish existed. 10. Fast food was engineered to override your brain's stop signals. Fast food is designed to hit the brain's reward system quickly. Food scientists study the bliss point, the perfect mix of sugar, salt, and fat that makes food hard to resist. Highly processed foods can trigger dopamine, which is why stopping after one chip feels almost impossible. Texture matters too. Many fast foods melt quickly in the mouth, making the brain underestimate how much you are eating. Portion sizes have also grown over decades, so huge drinks and meals now feel normal. Smell is another weapon. Restaurants vent food smells towards streets and parking lots to trigger hunger. Fast food didn't become powerful by accident. It was engineered. 11. Influencers don't sell products. They sell imaginary lifestyles. Influencers are powerful because their ads don't feel like ads. A normal commercial looks obvious, but influencer marketing hides inside morning routines, vacations, workouts, skincare, apartments, and honest recommendations. Your brain starts feeling like you know these people, even though they have no idea you exist. This is called a parasocial relationship, and it makes product promotion feel like advice from a friend. Brands love this because trust sells better than direct advertising. Influencers also sell aspiration, perfect homes, luxury trips, glowing skin, and effortless success. Viewers compare their real lives to edited highlights and feel slightly inadequate. That insecurity makes products feel like a shortcut to a better life. 12. Airports manipulate travelers because stressed humans spend more money. Airports are designed around tired, stressed, and trapped people. After security, travelers enter a strange mental state where time feels unstable, choices feel limited, and spending becomes easier. That's why many airports force passengers to walk through shopping areas before reaching gates. Duty-free stores, snacks, alcohol, electronics, and souvenirs are placed directly in the traffic flow. Stress and urgency weaken financial discipline, so a person who compares prices at home might suddenly buy an overpriced neck pillow or sandwich. Seating can also push people toward restaurants and shops. Once you're inside security, your options shrink, and airports know it. Sleepy travelers with suitcases are easy to manipulate. 13. Luxury brands manipulate people by making products harder. To buy luxury brands often make shopping harder on purpose. Waiting lists, limited supply, strict purchasing rules, and artificial scarcity make products feel more exclusive. Some famous handbags are not simply available to anyone who walks in with money. Customers may need purchase history first, which makes the final offer feel like being chosen. This works because people value status symbols, partly because they are difficult to obtain. Luxury stores also create intimidating spaces with quiet rooms, few products, and elegant staff, so customers feel they must earn approval. High prices add another trick. People often assume expensive means better. Luxury marketing rarely sells usefulness. It sells identity, status, and belonging to an exclusive world. 14. News channels. Learned that fear keeps people. Watching longer news channels know fear holds attention. Human brains evolved to notice danger quickly, so alarming headlines, breaking news banners, dramatic music, and urgent language instantly pull people in. Calm information rarely competes as well as fear, anger, or outrage. Social media made this stronger because emotional stories get shared and discussed more. When viewers repeatedly see crime, disasters, conflict, or crisis, they may start overestimating how dangerous the world is. This is called availability bias. Repeated examples feel more common than they really are. That doesn't mean problems are fake, but emotional framing can distort perception. Modern news often sells urgency because anxious viewers keep watching longer. 15. The biggest manipulation trick of all is making you think you're completely immune to manipulation. Most people believe manipulation works on others, not on them. That belief is one of the biggest tricks. Humans are confident in their own rationality, but everyone uses mental shortcuts to survive daily life. These shortcuts help us make quick decisions, but they also make us vulnerable to framing, repetition, authority, scarcity, confidence, beauty, and group behavior. Repeated information can feel true. Confident speakers can seem more trustworthy. Popular choices can feel safer. None of this means people are stupid. It means people are human. Manipulation works best when it feels natural and invisible. The smartest person is not the one claiming immunity, but the one asking, "Why did I want that?" 16. Phone notifications were designed to interrupt your brain. On purpose. Phone notifications are not random little reminders. They are engineered interruptions designed to pull you back into apps again and again. Sometimes it's a message, sometimes a like, sometimes a useless alert about something you barely care about. That unpredictability keeps your brain waiting for the next reward, almost like gambling. Notification sounds also train your attention over time, until some people even imagine their phone vibrating when it didn't. Read receipts add another layer of pressure by showing when someone saw a message and didn't reply. Apps use urgency, social obligation, and fear of missing out to keep you checking. Your phone became a pocket-sized anxiety machine. 17. Salespeople use silence. Like a psychological weapon. Good salespeople know silence can be stronger than talking. In a car dealership, a salesperson might explain the price, stop speaking, and let the silence hang there. Most people hate that discomfort, so they start filling the gap. They justify the purchase, explain their worries, or even negotiate against themselves. Real estate agents use silence too, letting buyers imagine living in a house until emotional attachment grows. Luxury stores also avoid pushing too hard, giving customers quiet space to convince themselves that an expensive item makes sense. Silence creates pressure because humans want conversations to feel smooth. Sometimes the most powerful sales tactic is simply saying nothing. 18. Streaming platforms. Quietly manipulate you into losing. Entire weekend streaming platforms learned that stopping is harder when the next episode starts automatically. Autoplay removes the moment where you would normally decide whether to continue. Before your brain fully reacts, another episode has already begun. Cliffhangers make it worse because unfinished stories create tension, and people naturally want closure. That's why just one more episode can turn into half a season. Platforms also test thumbnails and recommendations to match your personal interests, making content feel impossible to ignore. Old television had natural stopping points, like commercials or weekly schedules. Streaming removed those breaks. Now, entire weekends can disappear while the platform quietly keeps feeding your attention. 19. Supermarkets manipulate children. so effectively it's honestly impressive. Supermarkets know children can influence family spending, so they target them carefully. Sugary cereals with bright colors, cartoon mascots, movie characters, and prizes are often placed at child eye level. Adults may see nutrition labels, but kids see fun, excitement, and familiar characters. This creates pester power, where children repeatedly beg until tired parents give in. Checkout aisles are another trap. Candy and small treats sit exactly where families wait, when children are bored and parents are exhausted. Ads aimed at young kids are especially powerful because many children don't fully understand that advertising is trying to persuade them. A cartoon mascot can feel like a trusted friend. 20. The free trial exists. Because humans avoid awkward cancellation. Free trials work because starting feels easy and canceling feels annoying. Cancel anytime sounds harmless, but companies know people procrastinate uncomfortable tasks. The first decision feels risk-free because you pay nothing today, while the problem is pushed onto your future self. That is present bias. Your brain values the current reward more than the later hassle. Many companies make signing up simple but cancellation harder, hiding buttons in settings or forcing multiple steps. Small monthly fees also feel harmless, even when several subscriptions quietly add up. People often keep paying because they forget, delay, or feel too tired to deal with it. The trap is not the trial. It's inertia. 21. Fashion trends often exist. Because humans fear social isolation. Fashion trends work because humans hate feeling left out. For most of history, belonging to a group helped people survive, and modern fashion still uses that old instinct. When celebrities, influencers, or popular groups start wearing something, people copy it because it signals status, taste, and social awareness. Companies push this with seasonal collections, limited drops, and constant new styles that make perfectly good clothes feel outdated. Logos also turn clothing into social signals, not just fabric. The strange part is that trends can become ridiculous once enough people accept them. Every generation laughs at old fashion while confidently wearing things future people will probably mock just as hard. 22. Loyalty programs manipulate you into feeling emotionally attached to corporations. Loyalty programs turn spending into a game. Points, levels, badges, free drinks, airline miles, and gold status make customers feel like they are progressing instead of simply buying more. This works because the brain loves visible progress and small rewards. Once people get close to a reward, they often spend more to finish it. Coffee cards, airline memberships, hotel tiers, and shopping apps all use this trick. Status labels like VIP, Elite, or Preferred Customer create a feeling of belonging and importance, even when the reward is small. Companies are not just giving gifts. They are training customers to return, spend, and emotionally defend the brand. 23. Dating apps quietly turned romance into behavioral psychology. Dating apps changed romance by turning attraction into a swipe-based reward system. Most swipes lead nowhere, but sometimes there is a match, and that unpredictability keeps people coming back like a slot machine. The endless number of profiles creates the illusion of unlimited options, which can make commitment harder and people feel replaceable. Profiles also encourage performance more than honesty. Perfect photos, clever bios, travel shots, and polished versions of real life. Likes, matches, and notifications trigger social validation, even when conversations quickly die. Algorithms also influence who you see and who sees you. Love used to feel mysterious. Now, software quietly shapes the first step. 24. Car dealerships manipulate people by exhausting them. Mentally, car dealerships often wear people down through decision fatigue. Buying a car involves test drives, prices, financing, paperwork, trade-ins, warranties, and endless small choices. After hours of mental effort, people become tired and more likely to agree. The test drive creates emotional attachment first, making you imagine ownership before the real numbers appear. Dealers often focus on monthly payments because smaller numbers feel easier to accept than the full price. Add-ons usually appear near the end when customers just want to leave. Showrooms also create aspiration with bright lights, polished cars, and luxury atmosphere. By the end, many buyers feel they chose freely, while the process guided them carefully. 25. Self-help gurus often sell confidence more than actual solutions. Self-help gurus often succeed because confidence feels comforting when life feels confusing. A charismatic speaker with simple rules, dramatic stories, and strong certainty can sound convincing even when the advice is basic. Transformation stories are especially powerful. Someone was broke, lost, or unhappy, then changed their mindset and became successful. That narrative makes people feel hope before they check the evidence. Many gurus also sell exclusivity through courses, masterminds, VIP groups, and hidden knowledge. Social proof helps too. Large audiences make a person seem wiser than they may be. Some advice can genuinely help, but manipulation begins when emotional certainty replaces proof. Desperate people are especially vulnerable to anyone promising control. 26. Real estate listings manipulate you with tiny psychological tricks. Real estate listings don't just sell homes, they sell imagined futures. That's why small rooms become cozy, old houses become historic, and strange layouts become full of character. The language softens problems and helps buyers picture a better life inside the space. Photos do even more work. Wide-angle lenses make rooms look larger, bright lighting makes homes feel warmer, and clean staging removes messy real life so buyers can imagine themselves there. Scents like coffee, cookies, or candles can also create comfort during open houses. Seeing other interested buyers adds pressure because popularity feels like value. A house becomes emotional before it becomes logical. 27. Corporate buzzwords manipulate employees into accepting nonsense. Corporate language often turns bad news into something that sounds positive. People are not fired. They become part of a workforce optimization transition. Pointless meetings become alignment opportunities. Serious problems become exciting challenges. This works because framing changes how people emotionally react. A difficult situation feels softer when wrapped in vague, optimistic words. Companies also use phrases like hustle, grind, and going above and beyond to connect self-worth with overwork. Open offices are sold as collaboration, even when they create noise and distraction. Team-building activities can create temporary unity while deeper problems remain. Corporate buzzwords make nonsense sound professional, motivational, and harder to question. 28. Wedding culture manipulates people into spending money. Like royalty, weddings are emotional, which makes them perfect spending traps. The moment something is labeled wedding, the price often jumps. A normal cake becomes a luxury wedding cake. Flowers, photos, dresses, decorations, invitations, and venues all become tied to fear of regret. Nobody wants to look back and feel they ruined the most important day by saving money. Social media adds more pressure with perfect Pinterest weddings, cinematic videos, fairy lights, and impossible expectations. Traditions also push spending because questioning them feels uncomfortable. Many couples buy things because that's what weddings do. In reality, guests remember the feeling far more than chair covers, signature cocktails, or expensive decorations. 29. Productivity apps quietly turned human beings into their own managers. Productivity apps promise control, but they often turn people into their own strict managers. Modern life already feels overwhelming, so apps offer checklists, streaks, calendars, focus timers, habit trackers, and progress bars. These tools can help, but they also use gamification to keep people emotionally attached. A checkmark feels rewarding. A streak becomes hard to break, even when the habit no longer matters. Notifications can make unfinished tasks feel like personal failure. Rest also gets reframed as something that must be optimized, tracked, or justified. The irony is that some people spend so much time organizing productivity systems that they avoid the real work those systems were supposed to support. 30. Subscription boxes manipulate people with the fantasy of becoming a better person. Subscription boxes sell more than products. They sell the fantasy of a better future self. A fitness box suggests you'll become disciplined. A cooking box suggests you'll become a home chef. A wellness box suggests your life will become calm, organized, and healthy. Each delivery feels like a fresh start, which makes the subscription emotionally exciting at first. The surprise element also triggers reward because people enjoy anticipation. But reality often looks different. unused teas, forgotten books, abandoned yoga gear, and products sitting in cabinets. Canceling can feel like giving up on the person you wanted to become. That's why people keep paying for boxes they barely use. 31. Online reviews manipulate people. More than most real-life conversations. Online reviews became powerful because people trust group opinion when they feel uncertain. A restaurant with 4.8 stars feels safer before you even see the food, and a product with thousands of good reviews seems more reliable instantly. This is social proof. If many people approve, the brain assumes it must be good. Negative reviews often hit even harder because humans react strongly to warnings. One angry comment can outweigh hundreds of calm, positive ones. Businesses know this, so they push customers for reviews, highlight bestseller labels, and sometimes manipulate ratings. Modern people often trust strangers online more than their own instincts. 32. Political polls don't just measure public opinion. They can shape it. Political polls don't only reflect what people think, they can also influence what people do. When voters hear that a candidate or idea is popular, some become more likely to support it because humans like feeling aligned with a winning side. This is called the bandwagon effect. Polls can also discourage people if they assume the result is already decided. Media coverage makes it stronger by turning elections into horse races filled with percentages, momentum, and dramatic shifts. Even question wording can change answers. Poll numbers feel objective, but they are shaped by methods, framing, and interpretation. Sometimes polls help create the reality they claim to measure. 33. Healthy lifestyle. Marketing often sells anxiety. Disguised as wellness, healthy living started with simple ideas: eat better, sleep more, move your body, and drink water. But modern wellness marketing often turns normal life into a problem. Tiredness, aging, bloating, wrinkles, low energy, and stress become signs that you need supplements, detoxes, powders, trackers, or expensive routines. Words like clean, atoxic, natural, and guilt-free trigger emotion, even when they don't mean much scientifically. Social media makes it worse by showing perfect meals, perfect skin, perfect mornings, and perfect kitchens. Instead of helping people feel healthier, wellness culture can make them anxious. The industry sells peace by first convincing you something is wrong. 34. Big tech companies manipulate you by making convenience feel essential. Big tech's strongest trick is convenience. At first, apps solve small problems: directions, food delivery, shopping, banking, messages, entertainment. But once everything becomes easy, living without it feels difficult. Saved payment methods, one-click buying, autoplay, recommendations, and instant delivery remove friction, so people make faster decisions with less thought. The easier something is, the less we question it. Over time, convenience becomes dependency. Your phone starts handling memory, boredom, directions, communication, shopping, and even social validation. Algorithms quietly guide what you watch, buy, hear, and believe. The manipulation feels helpful because it saves time, but it also trains people to rely on systems they barely notice. 35. Reality TV manipulates audiences. By turning ordinary conflict into entertainment. Reality TV works because people can't look away from social chaos. Producers create stressful environments, isolate contestants, add pressure, film constantly, and then edit hours of footage into dramatic storylines. A normal disagreement can become betrayal with the right music, zooms, and selective editing. Someone mildly annoying can become the villain if the show highlights the right moments. Audiences form opinions quickly because humans naturally care about group behavior, romance, status, conflict, and loyalty. Social media makes it even stronger, as viewers defend favorites and attack strangers based on edited scenes. Most people know reality TV is manipulated, but they still get emotionally invested anyway. 36. Music in public places manipulates human behavior. Constantly background music works because most people barely notice it. Stores, restaurants, hotels, gyms, casinos, and airports choose music to shape mood and behavior. Slow music can make people relax, move slower, stay longer, and spend more. Fast music creates energy and can make customers move faster, which is useful in busy fast food places or gyms. Volume matters too. Loud environments can make people more impulsive because the brain thinks less carefully under stimulation. Luxury stores use calmer music to create elegance, while youth stores use energetic songs to feel trendy. Nostalgic music is especially powerful because it connects people to memories, identity, and emotions. 37. Social pressure manipulates humans more than almost any other force on Earth. Social pressure is one of the strongest forces in human behavior. The famous Solomon Asch experiment showed that people often agree with a group even when the group is clearly wrong. Why? Because humans deeply fear social isolation. For most of history, belonging to a group helped people survive, so the brain still treats rejection as dangerous. That's why people copy clothing, slang, opinions, habits, laughter, and even emotional reactions from others. Workplaces, friend groups, trends, politics, and social media all use this pressure. People may pretend to like bad ideas just because everyone else nodded first. Belonging can overpower logic faster than we want to admit. 38. Companies manipulate you by making cancellation. Feel like personal failure companies make joining easy but leaving emotional. Streaming platforms, fitness apps, language apps, and subscriptions often remind users of progress, streaks, history, saved data, or benefits before they cancel. This makes quitting feel like losing part of an identity, not just stopping a payment. The sunk cost fallacy makes it worse. Once people invest time or money, they feel pressure to continue even if they no longer care. Some services hide cancellation buttons or force several confirmation screens, discounts, questions, and pause offers. The goal is simple: make leaving feel harder than staying. Modern companies turned cancellation into a tiny emotional breakup. 39. Shopping malls were literally designed to keep you lost. And spending shopping malls are not random spaces. Many are designed to keep people wandering, browsing, and spending longer than planned. Winding paths, unclear exits, bright lighting, cool temperatures, and anchor stores all guide movement. Big department stores pull visitors deep inside, forcing them past smaller shops along the way. Food courts use smell, comfort, and variety to make people hungry after walking. Holiday decorations, music, and nostalgia create emotional moods that encourage generosity and impulse buying. The Gruen transfer describes how immersive shopping spaces can make people forget their original purpose. Someone enters for socks and leaves with candles, pretzels, and things they never needed. 40. Internet outrage is often manipulated because anger spreads faster than truth. Internet outrage spreads fast because anger keeps people clicking, commenting, sharing, and arguing. Social media algorithms reward engagement, and emotional conflict creates more engagement than calm discussion. When people feel their values or identity are attacked, they react harder and faster. Short clips, screenshots, headlines, and quotes often spread without full context, shaping opinions before facts are clear. Outrage cycles move quickly. One person, brand, celebrity, or random situation becomes the target, then everyone moves on days later. Misinformation can travel far when it feels shocking or enraging. Many people think they are staying informed, while their emotions are being repeatedly triggered for attention. 41. Luxury restaurants manipulate you into believing. Tiny portions are sophisticated. Luxury restaurants make small portions feel valuable through exclusivity, presentation, and storytelling. A tiny plate of food can seem sophisticated when it is served beautifully, described with elegant language, and placed in an expensive setting. People often judge taste through atmosphere, lighting, plating, music, and expectation, not only the food itself. Menus turn simple dishes into emotional experiences with words like wild-caught, hand-crushed, delicate, or reduction. Confident waiters also influence choices because people trust authority in unfamiliar environments. Scarcity adds value too. Smaller portions can make food feel rare and artistic. Many guests leave slightly hungry but convinced they experienced something meaningful. 42. Social media. Filters quietly manipulate beauty standards. Worldwide social media filters changed beauty standards by making edited faces look normal. Modern filters can smooth skin, reshape jawlines, enlarge lips, brighten eyes, shrink noses, and improve lighting so subtly that viewers may not even notice. Constant exposure to edited faces makes real human skin, pores, wrinkles, shadows, and asymmetry feel like flaws. This can damage self-esteem, especially for younger users who compare themselves to impossible digital versions of beauty. Some people even try to look like their filtered selfies in real life. Influencers, beauty brands, and platforms all profit from insecurity. Technology quietly convinced millions that looking human needs correction. 43. The fear of missing out became one of the strongest manipulation tools ever created. Fear of missing out works because humans are social creatures. For most of history, being excluded from the group could be dangerous, and modern technology uses that old instinct. Social media constantly shows other people traveling, partying, succeeding, looking beautiful, or living more exciting lives. This creates pressure to join trends, buy limited products, attend events, and document experiences. Companies use FOMO through flash sales, VIP access, waiting lists, limited drops, and exclusive events. The internet makes it worse because someone is always doing something that looks better. Many people become so busy proving they are not missing out that they barely enjoy the moment itself. 44. Free samples. Manipulate people through a tiny thing called guilt. Free samples work because humans feel pressure to return favors. Psychologists call this reciprocity. When someone gives us something, even something small, we often feel more positive toward them. A tiny cube of cheese, a free drink, a mini cosmetic product, or a free trial can lower resistance and create goodwill. Restaurants use complimentary bread, stores offer samples, and online businesses give free guides or templates for the same reason. The gift does not need to be valuable. The feeling of being given something is enough. People may buy not only because they liked the sample, but because saying no feels slightly uncomfortable. 45. Motivational speakers manipulate crowds, using the same emotional techniques. As concerts, motivational events often feel like concerts because they use music, lighting, crowd energy, repetition, storytelling, and emotional buildup. Speakers usually begin with struggle, pain, rejection, or failure, then move into transformation, confidence, and success. That story structure pulls audiences in because humans love emotional journeys. Music and applause make the room feel powerful, while repeated phrases become easy to remember. In a large crowd, people mirror each other's excitement, which makes them more open and less critical. Motivation can genuinely help, but manipulation begins when emotional intensity replaces real evidence. Some speakers sell the feeling of change more than practical solutions. Inspiration fades quickly when normal life returns. 46. News headlines. Manipulate you before you even read the article. Most people think they consume news by reading articles, but often they only absorb headlines. Headlines are designed as emotional triggers because online attention is brutally competitive. Words like shocking, devastating, or secret, terrifying, or experts warn instantly create curiosity, fear, or urgency. Questions also work because the brain wants closure. A neutral story can feel dramatic just because of how the headline is framed. Social media makes this stronger because many users share articles without reading them fully. That means one carefully written sentence can influence emotions before facts even appear. Headlines don't just introduce the news, they often shape how people feel about it first. 47. The most powerful manipulation in history was convincing people they need constant more. For most of history, survival meant having enough food, safety, shelter, and warmth. Modern society changed the meaning of enough. Now, people are constantly pushed to want more. More money, better looks, higher status, newer products, better routines, more success, and a more impressive life. Advertising suggests happiness is always one purchase: promotion, trip, body, or upgrade away. But humans adapt quickly, so the excitement fades and the goalpost moves again. Social media makes it worse because someone always looks richer, fitter, happier, or more productive. The strongest manipulation is not just making people buy things, it is convincing them they are always missing something. 48. Phone battery anxiety was quietly manufactured into a modern fear. Not long ago, people could leave the house unreachable for hours, and life continued normally. Now, a phone battery dropping below 12% can create real panic. That fear exists because smartphones became connected to almost everything: communication, maps, banking, work, photos, passwords, entertainment, memories, and social life. The red battery warning triggers urgency because the brain treats a shrinking resource like danger. Airports, cafes, and public spaces now revolve around outlets and chargers. Entire industries sell portable batteries, fast chargers, and wireless charging systems. Social expectations make it worse because people assume instant availability. A dead phone no longer feels like a small inconvenience. It feels like being cut off from modern life. 49. Celebrity culture manipulates people into feeling personally connected to strangers. Celebrity culture works because humans form emotional attachments to familiar faces. When people repeatedly see a celebrity's photos, interviews, voice, stories, routines, relationships, and personal posts, the brain starts treating that person as familiar. This is a parasocial relationship. It feels personal, even though the celebrity has no idea the fan exists. Social media makes the illusion stronger by showing breakfast photos, gym clips, emotional confessions, and behind-the-scenes moments. Fans defend celebrities, mourn breakups, copy fashion, and follow lifestyles as if they know them personally. Brands use this attachment through endorsements. If people admire a celebrity, that positive feeling can transfer onto whatever product they promote. 50. Background algorithms quietly decide more of your life than you realize. Algorithms quietly shape what people see, buy, watch, hear, believe, and think about. Streaming platforms choose which shows appear first. Social media decides which posts rise to the top. Shopping sites predict what you might want. Navigation apps influence where traffic flows. Dating apps control who becomes visible. News feeds shape what topics feel important. The manipulation feels invisible because algorithms rarely force choices. They simply guide attention, and attention shapes perception over time. When people see the same ideas, products, faces, or opinions repeatedly, they begin to feel more familiar and normal. Algorithms don't need to control every decision. They only need to decide what appears in front of you. 51. Political campaigns use colors, music, and staging. Like movie directors, political campaigns often look more like movie productions than simple policy discussions. That is intentional. Teams carefully choose colors, lighting, music, camera angles, slogans, crowd placement, and clothing because people react emotionally before they analyze details. Blue can suggest trust and calm. Red can create strength and urgency. Patriotic music builds group identity, while cheering crowds create social proof. Speeches are also structured like stories, with heroes, villains, problems, hope, fear, and resolution. Voters may forget policy details, but they remember emotional moments. Most people know political theater exists, yet still respond to it because humans are storytelling creatures. 52. Breaking news manipulates your brain into feeling constant emergency. Breaking news once meant something truly extraordinary. Now, it often creates a constant feeling of emergency. News channels use red graphics, urgent music, dramatic language, countdowns, and flashing banners to keep attention locked in. The brain is not built for nonstop threats, so repeated exposure to alarming updates can create stress and exhaustion. Social media makes it worse because rumors and emotional reactions spread quickly, while corrections often arrive later. People keep refreshing feeds because uncertainty creates tension, and information feels like control. But constant updates often increase anxiety more than understanding. Modern life normalized starting the day with tiny stress broadcasts beside coffee. 53. The final manipulation trick is making people too distracted to notice they're being manipulated. The smartest manipulation often doesn't look aggressive. It looks busy. Modern life floods people with notifications, ads, emails, videos, updates, arguments, trends, recommendations, and entertainment. Attention gets broken into tiny pieces all day. Distracted people are easier to influence because deep thinking needs time and energy. When people are overstimulated and mentally tired, they are less likely to question habits, purchases, algorithms, social pressure, or the systems shaping their choices. Technology also removes boredom, but boredom once gave people time to reflect. The final trick is simple. Keep people distracted enough that they never pause to ask who benefits from their attention. 54. Companies manipulate workers. By turning exhaustion into a personality trait, work culture turned exhaustion into a status symbol. People now brag about sleeping little, answering emails on vacation, and surviving on caffeine and stress. Being busy is often treated as proof of ambition, importance, and success. Companies benefit from this because employees who are always available can look more dedicated, even when overwork damages health, focus, and creativity. Smartphones erased boundaries between work and personal life, so messages follow people into beds, weekends, and grocery stores. Phrases like rise and grind make rest feel lazy and burnout feel admirable. Tired people often stop questioning systems. They just try to survive them. 55. Retail stores manipulate you, using the psychology of touch. Retail stores know that touching a product increases emotional attachment. Once people hold something, the brain can briefly treat it like mine, and giving it back feels like a small loss. That is why clothing stores encourage customers to feel fabrics. Electronic stores leave devices open to test. Furniture stores invite people to sit, and car dealerships push test drives. Touch activates imagination. A coffee machine becomes calmer mornings. A couch becomes a better home. A phone becomes a better version of life. Salespeople often hand products to customers because returning them feels awkward. Many purchases begin the moment someone physically touches the item. 56. Tourist attractions manipulate visitors into buying memories. Tourist attractions don't just sell tickets, they sell proof that you were there. Gift shops are often placed at exits because after excitement, wonder, or nostalgia, people want to physically preserve the feeling. That is why adults buy snow globes, mugs, magnets, and souvenirs from places they barely explored. Theme parks use the same trick with roller coaster photos, capturing visitors during intense emotional moments when impulse buying is stronger. Museums and landmarks use lighting, narration, music, and storytelling to make places feel meaningful. Social media made it even stronger. Many destinations now design Instagram spots. Tourism often sells memory, nostalgia, and proof of experience. 57. Fear-based advertising works because human brains prioritize survival over logic. Fear-based advertising works because the brain reacts to threats faster than logic. Many ads quietly say, something bad might happen unless you buy this. Insurance ads show disasters. Security companies show break-ins. Toothpaste ads suggest social embarrassment. Cybersecurity ads warn about hacking and identity theft. Sometimes the fear is huge, like danger or illness. Sometimes it is smaller but powerful, aging, rejection, loneliness, failure, or falling behind. Parenting ads can be especially intense because fear connected to children weakens rational budgeting. Political advertising also uses fear because anxious people pay attention and act faster. Even when people notice the manipulation, emotion often reacts before logic catches up. 58. Streaming music apps manipulate your mood more than you realize. Streaming music apps don't just play songs, they shape the emotional soundtrack of daily life. Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music study what you skip, replay, save, and listen to at different times. Playlist names like Confidence Boost, Heartbreak Hours, or Late Night Drive are designed to match moods and keep people listening. Algorithms recommend songs that maintain engagement, so your taste can be quietly guided over time. Music also changes behavior. Upbeat tracks can increase workout motivation, while slower music supports relaxation. Nostalgic songs are especially powerful because they connect to memory and identity. Even shuffle mode works through unpredictability, keeping the brain emotionally invested. 59. Packaging design manipulates your brain before you taste anything. Packaging shapes expectations before you even try the product. Colors do a lot of work. Red grabs attention, blue suggests trust, green feels natural, black signals luxury, and yellow creates energy. That is why candy wrappers, skincare boxes, fast food packaging, and premium products look so different. The brain uses visual cues to predict quality, taste, freshness, and value. Texture matters too. Heavy boxes, matte finishes, glossy labels, and soft-touch packaging can make products feel more expensive. Food photos are carefully styled to look better than reality. Even package size and shape can create illusions of quantity. Many people judge the product before opening it. 60. Internet influencers manipulate audiences. By pretending everything is authentic, influencers often sell authenticity as a carefully made product. Casual selfies, messy hair, emotional confession videos, and real-life moments can all be planned, lit, edited, and posted strategically. Audiences trust vulnerability because it feels personal. That is why influencers mix luxury lifestyles with ordinary problems. One moment they are on a perfect vacation, the next they say they are stressed, just like you. This relatability becomes branding. Sponsored recommendations then feel less like ads and more like advice from someone familiar. Some creators even leave small imperfections in videos to seem spontaneous. The line between friendship, entertainment, and advertising becomes blurry, and emotional attachment forms anyway. 61. Waiting rooms. Manipulate human behavior by controlling uncertainty. Waiting feels worse when people don't know what is happening. That's why waiting rooms use magazines, TVs, music, calm colors, chairs, plants, fish tanks, and estimated wait times. These details distract the brain and make time feel shorter. Humans tolerate delays better when they are occupied or informed. Even a simple, "Your table will be ready in 15 minutes," feels easier than silent uncertainty. Restaurants use visible lines too, because crowds make a place look popular and valuable. Airports also use walking distances to make waiting feel more active. The real discomfort often isn't the delay itself. It's feeling powerless while time disappears. 62. Viral internet trends manipulate people through group psychology. Viral trends often make little sense when viewed calmly, yet millions join them. People dance, lip sync, copy jokes, try strange challenges, or repeat memes because group behavior is powerful. Psychologists call this social contagion. Ideas, emotions, and actions spread when people see others participating. Social media speeds this up because algorithms reward trends that create engagement. The more people copy something, the more visible it becomes, which makes even more people join. Influencers and celebrities add legitimacy, making trends feel important. Many people participate because they don't want to feel left out of the shared online moment. Most trends vanish quickly, but the herd effect works. 63. Luxury hotels. Manipulate guests into feeling temporarily more important. Luxury hotels are designed to make ordinary people feel elevated. Warm lighting, soft music, signature scents, marble floors, calm staff, large beds, and elegant lobbies all create comfort, status, and escape. Guests often spend more freely because the environment makes expensive choices feel like part of the experience. Personalized greetings and attentive service create a feeling of importance, as if the guest is temporarily living a richer life. Even the minibar works better in this setting because price sensitivity drops. The famous white hotel robe adds to the illusion, making people act like royalty for one night. Luxury hotels sell more than rooms. They sell temporary identity. 64. Smart devices manipulate people. By pretending to be helpful friends. Smart devices feel useful because they remove friction from daily life. Speakers answer questions, thermostats adjust temperature, lights respond to voice commands, and apps manage reminders, music, security, calendars, and shopping lists. But companies design assistants to sound friendly, patient, and human-like because people naturally respond socially to voices. That's why assistants have names, jokes, calm tones, and personalities. Over time, devices learn preferences, routines, schedules, and habits, making them harder to leave. Convenience creates dependence because the benefit feels immediate, while privacy concerns feel distant and abstract. Many people understand the risks, but still trade personal data for comfort, speed, and control. 65. Fast fashion. Manipulates people into treating clothing like disposable entertainment. Fast fashion changed clothing from long-term use into constant entertainment. New collections appear so often that shoppers quickly feel outdated, even when their clothes are still fine. Cheap prices make buying feel harmless, while trends on social media create pressure to refresh your look again and again. The excitement of novelty becomes addictive. One new top, one new outfit, one new version of yourself. Fast fashion also uses urgency with limited drops, sales, and influencer styling. People buy not because they need clothes, but because the purchase feels like participation in culture. Clothing becomes temporary identity, worn a few times before the next trend replaces it. 66. Viral challenges manipulate people by making risk look socially rewarding. Viral challenges can make strange or risky behavior feel normal because attention becomes the reward. When enough people join a challenge, the behavior starts looking fun, brave, funny, or socially important. Likes, comments, shares, and views create instant validation, especially for younger users who want recognition. The danger is that group excitement can overpower judgment. People may copy stunts, jokes, pranks, or physical challenges without thinking through consequences because the social payoff feels immediate. Algorithms make this stronger by pushing content that gets reactions. A challenge can spread globally before people stop to ask whether it is safe, useful, or even worth doing. 67. Self-checkout machines. Quietly trained customers to work for free. Self-checkout was sold as convenience, speed, and control. Many people genuinely like it, especially for small purchases. But psychologically, stores also trained customers to do work employees once handled: scanning, bagging, organizing, troubleshooting, and processing payment. Airlines, banks, and fast food restaurants did something similar with apps, ATMs, online check-ins, and kiosks. Because these changes happened gradually, people accepted them as normal. Friendly screens, positive sounds, and thank you messages make the process feel empowering, even though customers are doing unpaid labor. When machines fail, people still need human help, but companies already reduced staff. Convenience quietly made customers part-time workers. 68. Online dating profiles. Manipulate people into marketing themselves like products. Dating apps turned romance into personal branding. People choose photos, write bios, select interests, and edit their personality like they are advertising a product. First impressions happen in seconds, so profiles become strategic. Flattering angles, travel photos, funny lines, hobbies, and polished versions of real life. Matches feel rewarding because social validation activates the brain's reward system. But this can make people chase attention instead of real compatibility. Algorithms also shape who becomes visible based on activity, engagement, response patterns, and popularity. Online dating creates endless choice, but too many options can increase dissatisfaction. People keep wondering whether someone better is one swipe away. 69. The greatest manipulation of all was convincing humans to constantly compare their lives to everyone else. The greatest manipulation may be constant comparison. For most of history, people compared themselves to neighbors or local communities. Now they compare themselves to strangers worldwide every day. Social media shows curated highlights, vacations, promotions, perfect homes, relationships, bodies, children, and sunsets. Meanwhile, real life includes bills, laundry, stress, mistakes, and ordinary routines. The brain still compares anyway. This can damage mood, confidence, and life satisfaction because people measure private struggles against public performances. Companies profit from that insecurity by selling beauty products, courses, fashion, supplements, apps, and self-improvement. The system convinces people they are incomplete because someone else always looks happier. Still think manipulation only works on other people. That belief is exactly why it works so well. The truth is, most manipulation doesn't feel obvious. It feels normal, convenient, entertaining, inspiring, urgent, or harmless. Stores, apps, news, politics, trends, brands, and algorithms don't always force your decisions. They simply shape the environment around those decisions. And when the environment changes your feelings, your choices often follow. The goal isn't to become paranoid about everything. The goal is to notice the moment before the decision. Why do I want this? Who benefits? And did I choose it freely? That small pause may be the only real defense.